Alright, guys, welcome back to episode 31. We're past the 30-day mark, which is fucking sick. We're gonna keep pushing. Um, Today's topic is about emotional regulation. Now, I am by far not the most at all qualified person to talk about this, but I kind of want to talk about what I've been helping with my emotional regulation lately, especially processing. Recently, I've been processing a lot of emotions and talking about a lot of things I've been through with professionals and, conversations with family and trusted people. Before I get into that, I did not do the protocol as perfect as I would like to today. My family is still here. They're rowdy as fuck at the moment, so there's no second to relax. I tried to exercise today. I ended up just doing push-ups and squats and sit-ups with my niece. That was actually brutal. I'd count that as a workout, even though I'm supposed to be having a deload week. I'm actually feeling quite fatigued after that. Duolingo is done. I'm speaking more Viet because my family's here, which is really nice. So it's just osmosis of Vietnamese speaking and adapting to the language, which is actually super beneficial. If you guys want to relearn a language that you learnt growing up or your first language growing up, just hang out with more of those people because they will tend to speak the language that you want to learn, and it's easier to pick up throughout conversation and it's more natural. You can hear the way they talk to each other and all that kind of stuff, but that's another topic. But yeah, when they're all gone, then I'll hit the protocol running. But back to the topic, emotional regulation. Now, my whole life I've struggled with emotions. I know every motherfucker watching this shit has struggled with emotional regulation. You can't lie about that. Especially if you're a dude, you think you're controlling your emotions, but you're just shutting that shit down. And it's gonna catch up one day, I promise you that. That's just human nature. But to keep it simple, the kind of the process I've been following is called RAIN. So RAIN stands for, it's an acronym for recognize, allow or accept, investigate, and then nurture. So I think it was made by, I think someone came up with it and then some psychologists ran with it. Her name was like Tara or Tara Brack or some bullshit. I don't know. I learned this a long time ago and I've been using it a lot recently. And we learned it a lot in sales. So in sales, you're constantly faced with rejection and you need to keep your emotions in check. You need to stay as cool, calm, and collected as possible. You need to be completely composed because, yeah, objections and all that kind of shit. That's another story. But this has helped me a lot recently and maybe will help someone else watching this. But R stands for recognition. So when you're in an emotional state, say you're anxious, you're feeling sad, or you're feeling angry, you just recognize it's there and label it basically. Like, I'm feeling angry. You give it a name. And that's already like kind of good. Like, you're aware that you're feeling some sort of emotion. Because when you're emotional, you're not aware what you're feeling and you start acting on emotion or impulse. The second thing is to allow it to happen or accept that you're feeling that type of emotion and kind of just sit with it for a second and feel it out. Like, don't try to shut it off or resist it because, like I said, it's going to come back and it's going to build up at some point and you're going to snap. So, allow it, accept it. You're feeling that type of way, tears are running down your face, whatever it is, let it be and recognize and accept that that's happening. And then after that, you investigate it. So, you dive a bit deeper. What am I thinking right now when I'm in this emotional state? Where am I feeling this in my body? That kind of stuff, and just kind of helps you separate it and try to understand why this is happening, and from a third party point of view, I guess. And the last one is to nurture. This is super important. I feel like a lot of people naturally just recognize they're angry, but they don't nurture themselves. Like that's where you would be self-compassionate and just like talk to yourself from a place of wisdom when that happens, and nurture it and be like, yeah, I was angry and it was okay, and you have to speak positively, which I know a lot of people find that hard to do, and I find that extremely hard to do as well. I've been brainwashed into a toxic masculine person, but it's been helping me a lot recently. I've had a lot of emotional moments, and it's something that I need to work on, and I was doing well at some point, and then so many things happen that you can't keep up with it. But if you guys can recognize your emotions, allow it to happen, and feel it out, investigate it from a third person type of view, and nurture it and be like, that's okay, then you're going to be like happier with yourself and not turn your mood into a personality trait, and be more likable and have more conversations that you enjoy and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's about it for today. If you guys don't really understand what I'm saying, fair enough. Like, I'm really bad at explaining this kind of shit. But you can look it up. It's called RAIN, RAIN. It's an acronym. Look into it. It's probably not the best way to regulate your emotions, but I find it recently that's helped me a lot, because I've gone through a lot of emotional shit recently. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.